So Craig's really gone from thinking, you're allowed to send emails on a Sunday like post, to being on. I'm going
to make a note of that. So driving into the Motorist, 7:30 this morning. Windows down, 25 degrees out, smell of freshly harvested fields. Feeling very, very lucky to live in Yorkshire. And I thought, who better to have on the podcast today than Martin and Craig, the Blakey Brothers. Welcome, guys.
Morning, Jim. Good to be here.
Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Thanks for making the effort. I'm very good, thank you. Gorgeous day for it.
Absolutely.
I don't know why. I was just saying to Harry, we always pick the hottest days of the year to do this.
It is warm in here.
It is a bit warm, but
we can deal with it. We've had worse, Jim.
We'll power through, yeah.
Like you said, Jim, on your way to work, smelt harvest dust. It's a smell all of its own.
Beautiful, isn't it?
You can't buy it.
Only
comes once a year,
yep.
And we're in among it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better.
Can you just tell our viewers and listeners who you are, where you come from, a little bit about yourself?
We're the Blakey Brothers. We only started doing the Blakey Brothers about 16 months ago. Not our idea, I have to say. It was a lady called Katie Dean. She's a doctor. I was round at her house one night and she said, I think it'd be a great idea if you and Craig did a few videos of what you do on your daily lives out and about. You get up to all sorts. She said, I'll post them for you and see how it goes. So I said, yeah, that'd be great. I rang Craig up and he said no, because Mr. Miserable. Not interested.
No, surely not.
So I completely overruled him without telling him. I think a couple of days later we were down in Wood at Church Fenton, where you did all the lights and things for us, Jim, on Halloween. And Craig had his gator. He had 5 of his dogs in back. So I got camera on, and I know they're very enthusiastic when they jump out. So they jumped out and nearly knocked him over. So I just filmed it, like 30, 40 seconds. I sent it to Katie. She put it on Facebook and TikTok. I think we got 300,000 views straight away.
How?
So I've no idea.
Because it's normal, isn't it? It's a normal carry-on. You've got 3 spaniels at back, 2 Labradors, keen as mustard to be out, always happy to go for a walk. As soon as they jump out, they're away, aren't they?
I've been in the car with you. I want to get out.
It's just normal. And then, from then, we did a tractor or two. And then I really started to warm to it then, because busman's holiday for me, looking at a few tractors, I thought, hang on, this is going to go somewhere, is this? I can put up with this. and it was good, wasn't it?
So as you mentioned diesel or a tractor, you're in.
Diesel tractor.
So just briefly mention to our viewers and listeners, we are sort of a petrol head podcast.
Yeah.
But you guys, you are so into your machinery, your tractors, farm stuff, that sort of stuff. And you're a real, you're obviously a well-known pair of characters round these parts near the Motorist. So I thought, who better to get on? You'll have to educate me, because I know the big things that you have to move aside for.
Craig, he's the expert on tractors, engines, everything tractors, Craig knows about. That's why I do most of the filming. My forte is the livestock, the horses, more, I love doing all the cattle and the sheep, the horses. When we go to shows, Craig does the machine show. It's a perfect match, really, isn't it, Craig?
It is really. Martin does his bit there. I'm drawn to tractors, always drawn to tractors, but also drawn to characters as well.
Yeah, well, that's what I think people love about your videos. You're very humble. You come across very, very natural.
Yeah.
And, that's what people want to. They just want normal.
Yeah, they want a normal carry-on.
You're not going to get any more normal than you two from Yorkshire,
What they don't want, they don't want out that's rehearsed. They don't want out that's scripted. Yeah. They want it to be off the cuff. And always give everybody time.
That's why I like doing this, and I thought you'd be a perfect fit for this pod.
Yeah.
Because I don't like highly polished interviews.
No.
I just like to sit around, have a chat, and see what comes out of it.
It's like 3 mates talking, and that works, doesn't it? You just bounce off each other.
Exactly.
So we never edit videos.
Straight
Every
out.
film, we sometimes put 20 films a day on.
Don't be telling him that, because we're getting mixed.
So we don't
save him loads of time.
So we don't. We don't edit them because we never make a mistake. No, I'm only joking. But we just don't edit because people want to see in its working boots normal people. Yeah. Even if we have an argument, which we have plenty, we'll leave it in.
Yeah, like if I'm in full song or full chat, and then he'll just butt in sort of halfway through, I'll pull him up with that, and we'll leave it in, because I'm talking and he can't wait to just butt in and if it's about a tractor, it's of no consequence, really.
I'm trying to do it now. That's my, because you do get going on a bit, Craig, and when we're filming on phone, I want to be under 3 minutes. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing a mini Netflix series. As Craig is ambling on and on about stuff, and I'm doing this, trying to get him to slow down.
It's when you have to start putting adverts in.
Like I said to you down there, we're lucky to be old enough to have seen the changes in agriculture and tractors. So in 1976, you could buy a tractor with what I'd call a rag cab, plastic sides, couldn't hear yourself thinking it. But come 77, when legislation come in, they all had quiet cabs. And we went, when we were 17, 18, we went from a tractor that had a bit of a sheet over it to one with a quiet cab that had a radio. Well, nobody in this industry will ever...
You were 17 in that?
That's a long time ago.
I think Dan was a lot older than that.
But nobody will ever see that again, will they? That change, they'll never see that change. And it were massive for us.
A huge leap.
It were a massive leap to have having a radio in.
Ooh.
Obviously one that you tuned in with, an old-fashioned thing, but... Well, we used to call them wirelesses.
Wireless.
Yeah.
I remember my grandma, Sent wireless up for me. Hey, that was what it was back in the day.
Yeah.
So just going back to, you started with Katie, got yourself out, do a video. So that was what, 18 months or so ago?
Yeah, about 16, 17 months ago we started. So we just started, and to be honest, at that time, Craig and I, we weren't really into social media at all, were we really? Especially you, Craig.
I'll be honest with you, when I heard you'd set up a channel, I'm like, really?
Them two? Yeah, that's what everybody said.
Yeah.
So
I only mastered TV remote 18 months ago.
That's not what I'd heard. I used to go teenager into do it for you.
So Craig's really gone from thinking, you're allowed to send emails on a Sunday like post, to being on. That's brilliant.
I'm
going to make a note of that.
To being on social media 24 hours a day, So it's just, as I say, all down to Katie. Katie thought of the idea. We're all down to her starting.
Yeah.
We have two lads now. We've got my youngest Dan and we've got Sam. They do all the technical stuff.
You were going to say editing then, weren't you?
Yeah, editing.
You don't edit anything.
They do all that. So Craig and I can simply concentrate on filming. So we have to go out every day doing that.
But you do film an awful lot, don't you?
We film a lot, yeah.
I mean, we've just had breakfast downstairs and you did 2 films while we were having breakfast.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Hang on a minute, mate.
I mean, it's ridiculous how that... There's a film everywhere. So we were sat having a coffee one day at Leeds East Airport.
Just down the road?
Just down the road, sat having a coffee, and the waitress took a photo of us just drinking coffee. One photo, just chatting about where we were going that day. It went onto Facebook and straight away got 40,000 views. And it was Craig and I can only think it's our insanely good looks.
Well, you keep telling yourself that.
or that, like I said before, the chiselled look.
All right,
the worn chiselled look.
Hardened look.
Okay. Let's leave that
the
one.
The worn chiselled look with plenty of hair.
So just from 18 months ago then, I mean, just I had a quick look at your numbers earlier. You've now got nearly 125,000 Facebook followers.
Yes. 20,000 on TikTok.
Yeah.
We get the last 7 days we've had 5.2 million views on Facebook, and the last 28 days we've had 16 million views, which has gone crazy. I mean, those figures are nuts. It's just absolutely mad.
Has it shocked you more than everybody else?
Yeah, it's madness really. So we just going out doing these films, knowing everyone you put on is going to get tens of thousands of views. It's gone mad, but it drives you on. Like Craig says, we go out and you're meeting we get invited to all the shows now. We do all the country shows. We're judging at quite a lot of them. We're judging at Tockwith on Sunday. We're doing Malham at Harrogate, judging the machinery there. So we get invited all over. What's even better though, we get invited for lots of free breakfast, Craig.
We do, fantastic. We do. I mean,
that's the only reason they turned up this morning.
We are judging at
Motorist amazing breakfast.
But Martin will be following my lead on Sunday, won't he? I'll be guiding you as regards the machinery and
I'll just write down what Craig decides to judge, because like Chris, it's like a busman's holiday for him. He'll be on Calpol night before, just help him sleep, because he gets excited.
Have you make notes on your phone? Because you'll still be playing Snake on your phone.
I tell you, when I get onto Facebook and that, I've only just really mastered it. I used to get onto it, and sometimes it'd be more...
Sorry, let me interrupt. Mastered's quite a strong word.
Yeah.
Be careful.
It were more good luck than management. Sometimes something will pop up, and I don't know why it pops up, I don't know why it changes, but I just leave it, and then next day it's back to how it was.
Have you downloaded the Drive Life app? It's the ultimate social media for petrol heads. Discover events, document your automotive journey, and share photos and videos along the way. Download the app today, free of charge. It's available on the Google and Apple stores.
I'll give you a little example, Jim, of Craig's technical abilities. So we did the press day on the Monday at Harrogate, Yorkshire show. So we were in media room, and obviously had Wi-Fi, so we could get our films out. So I went and put it, and I said, Craig couldn't get on. He was trying to look at. I said, "Go put the Wi-Fi in." So I went and did it for him, and he came back and he said, "I don't know if I should have done that." I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, what'll happen when I get home?" So he did. I said, "Craig, it'll just go back to your own Wi-Fi." So you did, didn't you?
I did say that. That's how untuned into it I am. I mean, that's a bit of a Peter Kay thing, really, with his gran. But I know, and I did say that.
You are very good with vintage tractors.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that.
Yeah,
very good. Yeah.
Let's go no further.
We'll leave that there.
So your demographic then that's out there, what split do you think it is? You've obviously got a lot of the farming community follow you. There's a lot of people just like you for your just down-to-earth Yorkshire banter.
Yeah.
A lot of people follow you for your tractors, machinery.
Yeah.
Have you got any idea of the split of it or not?
Well, the main one's between 45 and 65. But just recently, since we've been doing all shows, we're getting some much younger ones.
A lot of young lads. A lot of young lads and lasses coming up, yeah.
Because they're always on the phones on Facebook. So now, wherever we go, I mean, it's great because we just, like yesterday, trying to get around Rydale Show, probably had about 100 selfies with people. And it's brilliant, you know. And then you can't get round.
That's unheard of, the winter. I mean, how have we managed to I'm 65 now. I would have never, ever put any money on that would have been doing this and managed to reinvent ourselves.
It's mad, isn't it?
After we've been in among corn, contracting, breaking combines up for spares, all sorts.
When did you first get asked for a selfie? Can you remember? And did you have to ask your brother what a selfie was?
We've done that many, I can't remember.
We've done, it's been, so then we've been on, we did BBC Children in Need. We got an invite there, so we did there, we went to the BBC York, Radio York. We did a challenge at the Designer Outlet in York where we did a 3-leg challenge tied to the presenter walking round. So you get invited to do great stuff like that, and it's madness, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've also got involved with a lad called Martin Stevenson up at Flixton, sells tractors, combines, farm machinery, real good stuff. And he's quite animated with his videos. He's got a lot of followers. But we're doing quite a bit with Martin now. And he's really good to get on with. And it's sad because he were doing a video and it imitated us, hadn't he? It imitated you talking about me. So we did a copy video, didn't we? Yeah. In our yard where I'm running around animated doing this, and it went well.
And it went viral, yeah.
He liked it, and from there we've get on with him really well.
Brilliant.
Good job.
But from chasing stories and films, we're now inundated. So when we leave here, we're going to Barlby. There's a tractor demonstration.
Some new transmissions on some tractors which are going to...
That have just come out. So, but you see, one scale to the other. Old tractors obviously our forte, but we obviously do the new ones. And just over breakfast, we're just telling you about a combine we went to. It's a £1 million combine. The technology...
I watched your video on that.
Listening with technology. It's just 45-foot header. I was in the chaser bin, which is a chaser bin is where the tractor drives upside of the combine. He empties, then he empties to the trailers waiting. They go back to the farm.
Well, just to tell people what you were telling me about the control in the combine.
Yeah, so the chaser bin, I was filming in there with a guy, I think it was Steve driving the chaser bin. Yeah. He pulled up the side of the combine. Because it's so huge, he can't see into the trailer. So when he pulls at the combine, Will, who was driving the combine, he syncs the combine and tractor together, so he drives both. So Will's driving the combine, controlling the tractor so he can see where the corn's going.
It's insane.
When it's full, he presses a button on dash at combine, and then we drive off. But the tractor driver sat there with his arms folded, and Will's driving tractor from combine. You're looking at millions of pounds worth of tackle in that field. It were like being in Space Shuttle, looking at there were in the tractor alone, there were 6 TV screens monitoring every single thing.
Please tell me you had your channel on one of them.
Yeah.
What you've got there, you've got no corner floor and no corner top at cab because it's all in sync, isn't it? Not like old.
And I suppose over a period of time that'll add up.
Yeah,
it will add up. And it's just efficient, and it's efficient and actually getting the crops in double quick time.
And especially with that usual UK weather, I mean, we're blessed at the minute.
Yeah.
I mean, especially, harvested in July. I mean, when did that last
It'll
happen?
be finished this weekend.
When did that last happen?
Never.
Never.
I can't. Telling somebody that I can never remember harvesting.
Whether it's changing or not, you never know, do you, with this job? But some things are drifting.
So something's weird. I mean, I was in Italy on a car trip middle of June. It was 40 degrees we saw on a couple of days. The following week, the week after we got back, somebody sent me a photograph, and the pass we were on up in the mountains was white over with snow.
Really?
That was the end of June.
It's red.
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason.
No sense of reason.
But growing up, Jim, when we were kids, as you will remember, harvest used to last your whole summer holidays, and it was still going on into September when you went back. But like Craig said, July, the wheat, you know, it's all come together. This barley wheat, it's all more because of the heat. It's all come together. I was talking to somebody yesterday. He flew down south, didn't he? And he said when he got past Doncaster, looking down,
all done.
It were all done. It was all finished.
So I'm going to show my ignorance of farming now and planting. Are the farmers going to be able to get the next crop in the ground sooner, or are they going to have to wait until?
No, they won't put it in sooner, because if they put it in sooner, it's too hard. It's
too dry.
Anyway. It's like concrete. But if they put it in too early, it gets susceptible to all diseases. So there's a time when they can put it in. Probably October.
Late September, October. It'll get it in.
So, as usual.
And there's a bit more moisture, hopefully, by then. I mean, the fear is when it's been this dry, when it does start to rain, it doesn't know when to stop. No. It just doesn't know when to stop, does it? So, but no, it's, the array of, the leap in technology. Obviously, like Craig said, in the 70s, the leap was massive. But now with technology, the big leaps are getting shorter and shorter. You know, another year there's a huge leap and another huge leap.
So again, we were talking about this before we came on with the technology. Has it gone too far? Is it too technical when you get a fault or get an issue? And we were talking downstairs, weren't we, about AdBlue in farm machinery. DPF filters. Do they suffer the same as they do with cars?
Worse. Worse. You talk to any haulier, plant, quarries, tractors, agriculture, the biggest one issue that they have, that they call out every time, is AdBlue. And it's not the mechanical side of it, it's the sensor side of it. So all the software, so that the sensors, 300 or 400 quid a piece, probably plus that. And a lot of people say, how have they managed to get away with inventing something like this that doesn't work for us?
Yeah, well, we said, and it's probably somebody sat in an office without any windows, never been in a
bit like
field.
this.
They'll have air conditioning.
Never seen an engine. And right, your job today is work a way out where you can waste people time, waste people money, and ultimately put people out of business. And I'll tell you what, I'll invent AdBlue. That's how it. That's probably in a nutshell.
So we've heard of a tractor waiting to go back to the field, couldn't get back to the field, stuck at yard because it were regenning for a couple of hours. Well, how does that work? I mean, how can that work? It doesn't work, does it?
No, it doesn't. No.
We never heard of regenning. We couldn't even regen ourselves. You just had to just get cracking, didn't you? It was unheard of. But on about the technology, that going back to that CR combine, he lifted guards up, and there was a little sheet there for grease nipples.
Yeah.
I bet there are half a dozen. It says, about 4 of them every fortnight. I said to him, the combine that we had, I said, you had a sheet on like that, and it was like a dot to dot. And some of them, you never ever found them. There were that many of them. Yeah. And by the time you finished greasing it, you looked like you'd been tarred and feathered because you were just covered in calf, dust, grease. And then you had to go at cab and spend a day combining. Yeah. And that's how it was. And we enjoyed every minute of it.
Speak for yourself.
We did though, didn't you?
I know what you're saying.
It were a time, and it were a time when the smells of the calf, the dust, the diesel fumes from combine coming back into cab, it were all a smell that just takes you back to a better time.
It does explain a lot of diesel.
Yeah, I mean, the cabs in those days, zero air conditioning. So you imagine it's being sat in a greenhouse for 12 hours, But even worse, that covered in dust
And you've got the
and
dust.
sweat, and you're cutting corn. That you can see how.
And then you've got to grease it. And
The hardest thing you do now in a cab is choose which CD you want to put on. That's the difference.
What do you do?
I mean,
He said he was in the past. When did you last buy a CD?
Some of the, you talk about air conditioning. Some of the early air conditioning used to have a tank on top with water and a fan, and it used to droplet water on, and that were the best.
What?
Yeah, that were not on you, but onto a fan to try and keep you cool. Never worked. It were a complete waste of time, to be honest. But it were a step in right direction, wasn't it?
I was driving on a car trip somewhere, open top car, and it was ridiculously hot and our aircon had packed up. And I was in the passenger seat and I got a full 2 litre bottle of water, took the top, and I'm going to have to do this. And I shut my eyes and went like that to pour the water. And I thought, there's nothing coming out. I wasn't getting wet. Put the bottle down, opened my eyes, and the water had gone everywhere apart from on me. It was all over the inside.
Just
the
blew all
windscreen, seats, everything. Because the wind had come around the back and blown it into the car.
Yeah.
You couldn't see anything out the windscreen. I was bone dry. So, never did that again.
That was another thing. You took your drinks, didn't you? You took your pack-up bag. Your pack-up bag would be covered in dust.
So all your sandwiches would be
sandwiches
crunchy
were
and
hot.
red
They're
hot.
all hard. You'd have a bottle of orange, a bottle of water. That'd be warm. I mean, you might as well just take it out at radiator.
And they were the fun days.
And they were the... Yeah, there were. So what somebody once said, the only way for this country to move forward is to go back. And that's many a true word spoken in jest, isn't it?
I can say that, yeah.
It's like your lads with your cars and that. They all these cars mean something to them, don't they? And it's not just the car, it's the time. It's a time in their life, isn't it, that they remember.
It's the story, it's the memories.
It is, yeah.
And they can mend those cars.
That can mend them.
The older cars,
Yeah.
you can get your spanners out. Same with tractors, you can change things. On the new ones, it's a computer job, and ultimately that costs you a lot of money.
So I know on the older tractors they used to have a toolbox on.
Yeah, they'd have a toolbox.
Do they still do that now on the new tractors?
Not really.
Yeah, I think the
Unneeded.
thing with new tractors now is they call it the front box. And we call them fashion accessories now, because all firms make them, and they're great boxes at front, and some of them have got toolboxes at each side, or they've got some flashing lights on, and it's a fashion accessory to tractor now. We had a little toolbox like that.
Yeah.
We'd have a moving key, a hammer and chisel,
hammer.
and if all happened in the middle of the day, you could generally bodge it up, and you could get through end of day.
I mean, toolbox has been replaced by main dealer's phone number, really, because that's it has.
Can you come and scan my tractor and tell me what's wrong
it's
with
gone
it?
into regen, get them out, $2,000 later, you're on your way. But what you said about technology going too far, potentially what's going to happen is that chap driving tractor outside at combine won't be needed, because he'll be sinking it all. You'll have combines, tractors going up downfield without drivers.
Yeah.
Craig. That will come.
We have.
We have already.
Yeah.
We have. It's getting that way. And another one we did. We did another big combine, and I was filming in cab with him, and it was at Worcester, and he was combining away, and they had a big fancy corn dry put in back at the farm, probably a mile away. Because if it's not the right moisture, you have to dry your corn before you sell it. Anyway, he was controlling that drying process off his phone from the combine cab. There was nobody in there. He was doing it all off his phone, making sure the rates, everything, and how dry it was, and he just showed me on screen. And it's crazy. So you see where we're going to be in another 10 years.
But you've got to ask yourself, in another 30 years' time, these tractors that we're seeing now, where will they be? They won't be like the tractors that we've got now that we look at from years.
Still running.
They'll be edged back with a load of wires out like spaghetti, because they'll be dead. So there's no character. There's nothing there that'll draw you to them tractors in years to come. Not like there is the ones made in the 70s, 80s and 90s. There were golden years then. They'll never return, because you'll never get them tractors. And it's exactly the same with cars. We're talking about your cars and everything. Electric cars, they're all the same. So what you're going to end up with a perfect world where you're going to have a load of houses, all exactly the same. They're all going to come up. They're not going to drive in, because they don't drive in. They back in, because they're very precise. So they're going to back in. They're going to plug them in. They're all going to be the same. They're all going to come out with the same haircuts. And they're all going to go to work. They're all going to have a robot mower that cuts grass. And that's where we're going to end up, and we don't really want to be there, do we? We don't.
I'm laughing because it's absolutely bang on.
It
You're
is.
absolutely on the money with it. I completely agree.
You mentioned robot mowers there.
Looking for your new favourite t-shirt or hoodie? Head to the Drive Life store and discover a range of automotive-inspired clothing. Use the link in the show notes below and enter podcast 10 at checkout for 10% off.
Chap we know, Michael Reedman, he sells mowers, UTV vehicles, quads. He had a stand at the Yorkshire show. He was selling more robot mowers that you can shake a stick at. And he said, the next step is these hand mowers, you know, things,
scrap.
They're going to be out, thing at past. He said, even big estates, you know, it started about £1,700. He says they're ultra reliable now. He said they're that good. I mean, they don't leave any clippings, so there's no maintenance. They back themselves in on a night, charge themselves up. It's as if they've got their own life. They go out in the morning. He said you can program them. He said you could write Blakey Brothers in your lawn and it would go out and cut that every day. But he said what's happening is the big estates, you know, they go up to £8,000-12,000 with these robots. They're cutting big estates. Just set them going. They have the docking station. These mowers are working 24/7. But what's that's doing?
Maintenance. There's no overheads, is there?
There's no overheads, and also the other thing is that you're putting men out of jobs. So that's the thing. All this technology is putting people out of work. You know, these big combines. You've got estates swapping. You know, the CR11 that we filmed. They're getting rid of 2 combines because that will do the work of one. The capacity is so big.
Half your workforce.
So you're halving your workforce. So although it's good. I see Craig's arcing to get in here. He's got his arms up. Although it's good,
I can't get in, can I?
You know, it's between a rock and a hard place. You know, less men, which means less work, but more technology. Go on, Craig. What are you going to say?
That's all well and good, is all that, but it just probably in long term probably makes more work for NHS because nobody is going to get any exercise. Bit of exercise that some people get. Cut it grass. It's a pastime, isn't it?
Yep.
I'm going to get mower out. I'm going to cut grass. I'm going to get it as straight as I can. If they all get robot mowers,
while the robot mowers mowing the lawn, they can drive to the gym and go on a walking machine.
Absolutely,
yeah, I suppose so. Yeah,
more downtime.
Drive to the gym in an electric car.
Yeah. With a haircut.
with a probably a little peak cap on. Not one of these.
Got a plug-in for your caps.
He's doing a bit of character assassination here. He's going to have a target on his back.
Stereotyping at all.
A lot of your lads that come down here, we see them on a weekend, they're all passionate, aren't they? We see them in the little Golfs, we see them in the Escorts, we see them in Bodie and Doyle, Capris and all them sort of cars, don't we? And they're there. And
you had a Capri, didn't you?
I did have a Capri.
Love Capris.
Yeah. But they're as keen as mustard.
Yeah. Passionate.
But they're not going to be able to do that.
So just talking about the vintage tractors then, is that, I mean, it is a massive, massive marketplace, you know.
Yeah,
is it growing or has it always been that big?
It's growing in that the classic side of it is, which are like the 90s tractors, with that Fiat that went to our sale went 40 grand because it was a transition tractor between Fiat and New Holland. But the classic stuff, which is in good order, will make money. But everybody wants one. Not just farmers. Everybody that used to work in a farm that are 65, coming into the 70s, they still hark back to that era, and they'll have a tractor hot drive or they'll have one at back garden. I mean, I've even seen at Flower Show, where is it in London? Where did that? Chelsea Flower Show. They design a garden. So you'll have a garden, then you'll have an oak shed, which is maybe roof on one side of it. Then they'll have a grey Fergie backed into it. Just look at. I mean, I'd have that if I had a shed at back garden. I'd back an oak Fergie in that maybe engine was seized.
Well, look at Clark's in his pub with the chrome tractor hanging from is that a Fergie?
What's better to look at when you open kitchen curtains on a morning than a grey Fergie stuck in a shed?
Craig's just leading up to the sales pitch here because Craig has about 12 of these. You know, so
just wait for market to peak.
If you would like a tractor, you'll see Craig's number soon on this video. Come down to the workshop and discuss your requirements over a coffee.
Well, it's right. A lot of these old kids want them.
You'll have to buy them breakfast, though.
But we do offer tractors to our followers on it. We do a raffle and we support the Woodhaven Rehoming Centre down here. They're taking mistreated and abandoned dogs. So we raffle tractors off and we use some of that money to support them. And they need it. They're absolutely brilliant, those girls down there. So we've got one going out on Sunday night. There's going to be a winner. It's a David Brown. It's best one we've ever seen, isn't it, Craig? It's a high spec 950 and that's going out.
I don't know how I've let it go, really.
Because you got too many.
So what happens is, whoever wins that, we deliver it and film it. So we're always hoping it's somebody quite local. We don't want somebody to win it in Devon if possible, because that's quite a trip out with Isuzu and trailer.
It'll be a 2-day job when we're up. As soon as I get out of Tad, my nose starts bleeding.
The last one,
I mean, you haven't got a passport, have you?
I have got a passport, but it run out. But there's a lot of places to visit in England, isn't there? Really. I mean, I've been to Ireland. But I suppose once you go to Ireland, once the plane gets up, by the time it gets up and level, it goes down.
Yeah.
I've been to France once, but I'm not big on going abroad, really.
Yeah.
I'll maybe get.
you haven't got a passport, have you?
I have got one, but it's run out. So
Ran out 25 years ago. I tell you,
do you know, I don't like them big iron birds, though. I don't like them.
we went to Pateley Bridge up in middle of nowhere, and I don't know what my truck was in for something. Now, we didn't go in my truck, so Craig drove in his truck in Isuzu, and we put sat-nav in to get back home. So middle of nowhere, I thought, quickest way.
Sorry, who programmed the sat-nav?
No, well, Craig is pressing with.
Oh, it's just a humble.
He's there. And what he does, he's pressing with great sausage fingers, like not giving it time to react. So he's putting it in and said, right, we're off. He set off, and where were it? It were 850 miles. It got
Bulgaria or something.
Bulgaria. And he set off. And
Has he moved?
He said, oh, we'll get there. I said, yeah, eventually. So
not twigged.
I tend to do all driving where we go, don't we?
It's... I prefer Matt. Well, I can look into fields then.
Yeah.
I was chuckling. I watched a video of yours the other day when you'd called in. Was it BP station you called?
Yes.
To get some flowers for your mother-in-law.
Oh, yeah.
I did, yeah.
Then you come out with empty handed.
Yeah.
What did you say? I'm not paying 20 quid for a bunch of flowers.
I went to Co-op and I got exactly the same, to be fair.
For
Yeah, but for a tenner.
For a tenner.
And I just thought...
Do you know what? Years ago...
Welcome to Yorkshire.
I've been combining, and it was Carol's birthday, and I went to BP.
Your wife?
Yeah, my missus. I went to BP and I got some flowers, and I'm in a rush, and I picked these lovely pink flowers, and a right nice bunch of flowers. Got them home, gave them to next morning. She said, thanks very much. She says, you don't know they're plastic. And honestly, I didn't know
they were that good.
They were that good. They were plastic flowers, and you know, we've still got them. They're still up.
Did you give them for Christmas?
Yeah, they're still up bureau now. Top as good as day when I bought them. So they're.
How often do you have to water them?
Never. Dust them, bit of dust on them, but they're as good as new.
Yeah,
and that must have been in the 90s.
Yeah,
when I bought them.
You're quite thrifty, aren't you?
We never throw out away.
Quite thrifty.
Never took out away.
We once pulled in.
thought I was tight.
We pulled in one day, and I went for. We pulled in at BP at M&S up here for a bit of lunch. So Craig went in to get it, and I thought, I'm going to film him here because I know it won't be out fancy. And it's M&S, so
that was a yellow sticker.
So I filmed him coming back. I thought, it's one pack of sandwiches and a Twix. So we get back in. She said, are you not having any? I said, yeah, we're having half each. So we had half a sandwich, corner cut, and one piece of Twix. That was lunch. She said, yeah, that's all you need. I think got one each.
One farmer once told a lad that was working for him, he says, do you know what? He says, eating's just an habit you go into. Looks like you mastered it, Jim.
I'm saying nothing.
Somebody did say to me, if Craig could get away with just breathing in, he would. Yeah. He don't like giving out away. He don't like giving it back. Gosh.
Oh, dear me, tomorrow.
I remember once, you were running about 7 combines, Craig, and he bought a brand new Holland. What model was it?
It was a CX.
It was a big
860.
It was a big, would it have a 24-foot head?
To the 24.
A big head.
Yeah.
Big combine in there, huge combine. So Craig were out combining. I remember I were running welding shop at that point. Craig were out combining somewhere with this thing, and phone rang in office, and it were Craig, and he were cutting down some pylons, wasn't you? And concrete at bottom of pylons, trying to get the last grain of corn without missing any. Couldn't possibly leave it. Caught bottom at pylon with 24. Imagine all that power.
Yep.
And he said. He'd looked down and he were hoping it wasn't too bad, but he knew it was very bad because there were gaps appeared in bed that with daylight in, weren't there?
Yeah, it had caught the box section at the bottom. So, and I knew something had gone wrong. So I pulled everything up, shut everything down, backed up, turned the engine off, and all dust was just sort of settling down. And as dust settled down I could see some flecks of paint, which I knew weren't very good because where it just. And then I could see some daylight where I shouldn't really be seeing some daylight, and it were bad. And I rung one of the lads up. I says, I wasn't thinking straight really. I says, come with bottles, see if we can straighten this out. No way we're ever going to straighten out. It had it really, but it's just one of them things. It's what trying to get tuppence halfpenny's worth of corn that's round a bit of concrete, and should have just.
And it wrote it off.
Oh yeah,
it wrote the header off on combine. And the problem was in the middle of harvest, and only one there was were in Belgium.
Yeah,
it took about 2 weeks to come. But
dare I ask?
What was it? 35.
It were about 30,000 insurance.
But what funny, Craig. Obviously, when you do that, a bit of panic mode, a brand new combine. Craig were nipping himself under his arm there to try and make himself cry to feel better. I was that mad, and I couldn't really get it out myself, really. It was just all sort of pent up, and I thought, and I'm there, and I'm just paining myself, and I couldn't even make myself roar just to get over it. But anyway, it's character forming. That's what's... You don't go to Tesco's and buy a face like this. You've got to earn it, haven't you? Hey, you've got to earn it. It's all good stuff. Get that hat back on quick.
So speaking of hats, can people buy your merch?
Yeah, we sell hats on our website.
Yeah, I think we'll give Jim one if he wears it on his next podcast.
Yeah,
How's that?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I have to just widen it a bit. So
Get this noggin in.
We'll drop you one in, Jim. Yeah.
Cheers. I'm going to mention about that hair in there. So I'm still floored by your success and the speed it's come at. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, it's
we are as well,
yeah.
Really.
So do you find time to do any normal work now or not?
No, we more or less do it. This is full time.
It more or less is, yeah.
More or less is. Every day we've got appointments, places. What happens now is people ring us to go. So we're going, we spend a lot, we go to farmers' auction marts, we go there, we're invited for breakfast. We're judging, there's a big show at the Selby Farmers' Auction Mart, I think it's December the 2nd. Craig and I are judging the pork pies and sausage rolls. What that...
But we would be, wouldn't we?
Life don't get any better than that, does it? Life don't get any better. And trust me, these are the best butchers all come together. They're going to be the best ones. And I think Martin Stevenson's with us. We're judging those, Craig. I mean, that's great, isn't it?
That is an accolade, I've got to say.
Phil Parkin said, I need a third judge. And we just went next door to Martin Stevenson's standing. Phil were off for his lunch. He called it, he says, I've just found my third judge.
So we're looking forward to that. Yeah, that's
sausage roll. And he says, you'll get your tea there and all.
What could be better? So you cover all Yorkshire then, basically?
So we're doing most at shows, and it's great.
Tractor runs as well. We've been asked to go to Penrith, haven't we, to judge the tractor tinsel run. We're doing a tractor run in Church Fent as well on the switch on footlights. So we're going to get a load of lads with tractors.
Yeah, we're hoping to have about 50 tractors in Church Fent,
something
causing
along
chaos.
those lines,
it'd be great.
Yeah. Folks, kids love tractors.
They do, yeah.
Don't they?
It was my lad's first word.
Yeah. I mean, when I were a lad, when I was 10, 11, I'd watch Joe Cook's bloke, George Bell, ploughing at field at back of our house in Ullerscalf there. They set it rigs, and you'd see him, he'd go home with tractor. He used to live in that tight cottage where Tom Appleyard used to live. Yep. He'd pack forts made up outside, leave it running because it wouldn't start. But do you remember all them little things? You remember him? He used to wear a beret, and every time
nobody would nick it back then.
No, and every time he went by, if he rocked grass at near estate, he'd put his thumb up like that, and that's when it all started.
Well, you know where Joe Cook's farm was, Jim? It's houses now. You go down the bridge, sharp right into West End. So back in the day, he used to lead bales for Joe Cook with the 56 carrier. So you'd do flat eights, you stack them into 56 bales, you'd pick them up with a carrier, and you'd take 56 back to, no indicators on, but turning right.
Or straps.
Turning right on the bottom of that bridge. So what did you have? What? You had a hand cut out of cardboard, Tom Appleyard, a hand cut out of cardboard, sellotape to a broomstick. So when you got to the bottom of the bridge, you put that out to tell people you were turning right, and it worked. But I mean, you won't get away with it now.
I know, you're not joking.
It did. Tom Appleyard made that, and this big hand come out because on them rag cabs you had a little square cut out that you used to put your hand out because they didn't have indicators. So you made when you had bail cart up.
He was hilarious.
Shoved broom shaft out with hand on.
What a boy! I do miss Tom.
He was a good lad with Tom. He was a great fella.
Yeah.
And I once said to him, I says, "What we're talking about?" I says, "What were your best times then on farm? Which farm were it?" He says, "It's Joe's."
Yeah.
Joe Cook.
Old fashioned, wasn't
And it was, we used to go out milk, we used to go.
It was brilliant.
Joe Cook had come out with his, he had a little sheet, because obviously you can't work on farms now, kids can't do oat, they're not allowed to do oat. But he used to have a sheet, how old you are, how much you got an hour. He used to come with drinkings, plum pie, with plum pie and ham sandwiches, pie, and sweet tea and a mini milk churn. What's better than that?
How many farmers do that now for the stuff?
They don't stop.
What's better than that?
They don't.
They get pizzas and that, I think, nowadays. It's a bit more modern.
Yeah, they take them a take.
They get a delivery.
11 o'clock at night.
Uber Eats into the middle of a field.
Yeah, they get I mean, Joe used to get his...
them days are gone.
But Joe Cook, what a character.
Yeah.
What a character. Can you remember him?
No, I don't. No, I think it's a little bit before my time.
Farm at bottom at Bridge, and he got a fresh housekeeper. She come and she used to do cleaning, and he had some net curtains in the kitchen. Well, they'd been hung there for probably about 150 years of these net curtains. So new housekeeper come in, and she's with feather dusting about, and she put feather duster on net curtains, and they just turned to ash,
turned to dust.
They've been there that long. It was like one of them Dracula movies. It just turned to ash and blew away. But again, stories like that, you remember them, don't you?
So I believe my house used to be Joe Cook's barn.
Possibly, yeah.
Way back.
Yeah.
My
time
house
ago.
was converted in 1847 from a barn to a house.
Yeah.
So his was the farmhouse and mine was the barn. There was nothing else in the
Yeah.
village.
Yeah.
And everything else was built around it.
There was another two little farms. Not in Fenton, in Ullerscalf, sorry. Yeah, as well. So those are the little satellite farms, all built on now.
All gone.
Yeah.
They've all gone.
But some good memories there at Joe Cook.
Yeah.
A quick thank you to the Motorist for hosting us as always. To find their calendar of car meets, events and quizzes, head to the link in the show notes below. So go on, and what's your thoughts on all the local building?
You can't really stop it, can you?
You can't. It's going to happen, but the only problem is they don't put any new infrastructure in to support it.
Yeah.
You know, schools, doctors. You know, block roads. They stay the same. You know, but they're not going to stop it. You know, Labour are wanting 1.5 million new houses. That's not going to happen. You know, I mean, they backtracked on that already as they've done more U-turns and you know what. But they're going to keep building, you know, because farming at the minute's tough. You know, it's a tough. If you can build houses, you're going to build houses, and it's
an easier game and easier money than producing food.
Yeah.
Well, there's nobody brought it more to the public.
One farmer said to me, he said that growing houses is all right. You only get one crop, but it's a good one, and it's true. It's true, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a few of those crops, you can retire off the back of it.
You're
not going to retire off the back of farming currently, are you?
But like Martin said, they've got to do something with roads. They've got to alter the infrastructure. Also, your water coming in and your waste going out. They don't. Nobody ever seems to
upgrade it, do they?
No, and they say they've these things coming up where they're going to do when they're building your houses. But nobody's there to stand on their air.
They take the money off you, but then never do anything about it.
Nothing changes. Nothing ever changes. You try to get a doctor's appointment. You know, it's virtually impossible.
Yeah.
It's
different. I mean, they do. The NHS do look after me. And I tip 65, and the amount of things that you get, your shingles jab, you get tested for this, you get tested for that. But the only thing that you can't get is your pension. And that's kicked into long grass.
I'll be honest with you, Craig. You had me really worried then, because I thought you were going to go through your medical history.
But you end up chasing your pension. But I've nailed mine down to June 2027. That's when I can draw my pension.
Okay.
But some people are more unlucky than that. It's kicked further down the road, isn't it? So, but the NHS do look after you. They're on it. And
yeah.
But there's that many of us now, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, population's just
It's just
ever increasing. hence the need for housing. And
we've always been well looked after. We've always had lumps cut off, haven't we? We've had that one chopped off in a gate and hung off and pinned back on, and that's...
And he blamed me for that, didn't he?
Yeah, I blamed him for that. But I mean, it's all right now, but it just gets very cold at winter. But glued back together. You've got a couple of lumps off that one.
That's my that chopped my thumb off.
That
at
used
Henry's.
to be a thumb. What's the rest of it?
That used to be a thumb. It's now my left big toe. That is, believe
Is it
or not.
honestly?
Yeah. See that? See it, look there?
Yeah.
Does it look like a toe? Well, I tell you, when I done it, when they first put the thing on, it looked even more like a toe. So Professor K from St James's, he's been on TV. He came from Manchester to do it. First one he done there, so he came across and he did it, and it did look like a blooming toe. I have to admit.
So he actually come across from Manchester to make it look better.
No, he did the operation.
Yeah.
The first operation, he came and did the operation, but then I went back after a while. He said, if you come back, if you let me do it, because it was a student hospital, he said, if you let me do it under a local, without students watching, he says, I'll trim it back for you and make it look like a toe. Well, he didn't do a right good job.
I'm going to say
he did a good job.
How did you lose it in the first
So
place?
we're putting some, we're doing some fencing horse paddocks at Henry's, and you know the post knockers that go on back of a tractor?
Yes.
Come down with a 10-ton weight. So we've been doing it a couple of weeks. You get a bit complacent. I was chatting to Ken, it was behind me, chatting away, and my job was to straighten the post. I was chatting away, and I got my hand on top, and Reg, old lad who was who were doing it, he let it down, and I just got my hand out of the way, but my thumb was plumb like that, and it came down and hit it bang on, and I
Did you feel it?
for 10 seconds I didn't, but when I pulled it off, it was about that long on my thumb. so I pulled it off, and then I went onto my knees, and Ken said, "Are you all right?" I said, "Well, I've had better days." So Reg, who was driving tractor, he sprinted to the farm. It was I think Henry was showing some owners around from London. They had mares in, so it was effing them
just at the right time.
And so Henry came.
Easterby.
Yeah, Henry Easterby. So Henry, he had a Renault 5. He used to drive a Renault 5 all the time. He came shooting across the paddock at Renault 5 with a tea towel, and a remix, it had all horses on it, and he just wrapped it in the tea towel. And we shot off to York, and we got there, and we got into waiting.
A&E.
And I was stood in passage waiting, and I was getting whiter and whiter, and there were big queues, and an ambulance driver came and he says, "Are you all right?" I said, "Well," showed him, and he got us straight in. And Henry came in and he says, I'll wait outside for it. He thought,
you're going to be 10 minutes and back
I
out.
thought he was going to be... Anyway, they couldn't do anything at York. 6 weeks later, I came home, didn't I? Well, I came home for a weekend just before operation. Then I went back, and then obviously I couldn't walk.
And I can imagine Henry going, "What about my friends?"
Yeah. So I laid in bed with my leg up, my thing went like that, and it took about 6 weeks. So, but it's all right now.
It was fun. Well, it wasn't funny, but it was funny. We took mum and dad.
Yeah, it was really funny, Craig.
Night, days to happen. Took me mum and dad, and mum wasn't expecting. She didn't really know what to expect. Anyway, went in and says, "Oh, where is it? Oh, he's in life support."
Yeah, that's what they said.
To put him in a room on your own, weren't you? And
we've had a few. You get a few accidents, but
Well, I'm just glad I've never worked with you. My dad warned me years ago. He said, "Never ever work with anybody who ain't got all the fingers."
Yeah, well,
because if they can't look after their own, they're not going to look after yours.
I chopped his little one off at Wish House door at home.
That one. So we were messing about, and he
Olden
did.
days, you had a Wish House, didn't you?
He did something to me. I had gloves on. It were freezing. And I chased him into the wash house, and as I went to grab him, he shut door and trapped it. When I pulled my glove off, my finger end was still in it. So my modelling career is over as far as hands go. But apart from that,
This lad's do it filming. He's going to collapse.
Stay whiter. But yeah, that's
It's
what
a
it
good
is.
job. Got a strong stomach.
But Professor K, a bit of a cool guy. I don't know if you can see it there, but the veins and the nerves out of my foot had to be going to there to feed it.
Wow.
And he did it in the letter M because that's my scar. So he did it in the letter M there, look. So pretty good, really.
That's pretty trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is my...
First new bionic
Not everybody
man.
can claim to have a toe on the thing, but I have. So there you go.
Brilliant. So do you struggle walking?
I sometimes get up and put a sock on my hand.
It's 16.
It's just muscle memory.
You got to put your gloves on, put a flip-flop on instead.
No, it's all good. Classified as 16% disabled with that.
You got a blue badge?
I nearly got
I bet you tried, haven't
No,
you?
but I tried to get in one of them little cars.
So yeah, but that were in 1988. So I've got over it emotionally.
I think yeah. Not forgiving him though. Just
No.
Still his fault.
No. I do still get people saying, "What the hell is that on your hand?"
I mean, I took a picture of that and I put it on our mantelpiece in front of fire just to keep kids away from fire because I'm that frightened of it when it were blown up.
So, right, change the subject.
Yeah.
Is there anybody out there that you want to work with or you want to do some projects with that you haven't yet?
Well, there's loads of people coming up in that what we do, we're getting asked to go do lots of talks about what we do, like we're doing with you. But there's Martin Stevenson's a good guy. He from GM Stevenson's at York. He's a tractor dealer. Working with him because he's a character. He does his own channels and things. So we like working with him. But we like working with knowledgeable people, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, for me, really, it's it's characters, but it's them lads, old kids that are funny, but don't know they're funny.
Yeah.
Them are the ones.
Yeah, just natural.
Natural.
Yeah.
Nobody who rehearses it or does anything like that. You'll come across somebody like, we're here now, and we start talking, and they'll come out with tales. I mean, told kids I've worked with, sort of cut my teeth with all old sayings and everything. Dennis Cochran.
Most of which we can't say on here.
Yeah, but Dennis Cochran, I mean, he went to pick some bits up for Beat Puller in Beverley with his Land Rover, him and Jack Russell. And he were driving through Beverley, and Copper on Beat there yoked him up, says, "It's one way." It says, "I'm only off one way." And that's how they were. And they could get away with that.
That's what it used to be like.
Yeah. But I don't know if you remember Keith Moxon.
I remember Keith very well, yeah.
When we run it, Craig had Agrimec. I ran the welding shop. So I was down there one day, and Keith, he used to come in for bits and pieces, welding or warming up. And he came in one day and he wanted something welding. So I was messing about welding, and Craig came out of office to have a word, and Keith, his dryers were born, he's dry. He looked at his watch like that, and then he looked up and says, "Yeah, well, our Marjorie, that's his wife, she'll be on that plane now." So Craig says, "Oh, where's she going, Keith? Anywhere nice?" He says, "Nowhere. She's taking half an inch off bottom at kitchen door, it's sticking." Things like that. But dry as anything.
He was great character. Yeah,
proper character. And I like to tell you this one. About two old kids in Ryther. They used to be Ryther Arms and Woodman, didn't they? A lot of airmen used to get into Woodman.
This is donkeys here.
This is donkeys. Yeah. This tale's done.
Al Athraby's lived in that house that's been built on the pub site.
Yeah.
The last
where Woodman was.
15 years.
So these two old kids are going with. There's Ducky and Bob. And there's a lot of shouting and cussing and that at pub and fighting. And Bob says, "Right." He says, "I'm going to go in there. I'm going to sort this out." He says, "Stop there, Ducky, and count them as I throw them out." So Bob goes into big Brusson fella, wasn't he? Big Brusson fella.
Bit of a fighting man, wasn't he?
Went into the pub. There's a load of shouting, a great big bang, and sure enough, door flies open, and one of them comes out on his backside up floor, and Ducky says, "One." A little voice comes up from floor and says, "Stop counting, it's me."
That's brilliant.
Hey? Love it. You never forget them. I mean, Danny Bennett told us that tale so many years ago.
They're all supposed to be true, but how true that would be. That's a funny one. It's a funny one.
It's those stories.
It's a banter. It keeps job going. It keeps cart up wheels, doesn't it?
Exactly.
I'll say I ran the welding shop because you were out combining a lot, weren't you, Craig? So, but if we were busy, we're out on farms doing stuff on welding. One day we were all out, all fitters were out, mechanics. Somebody came in. There were only Craig in office. Craig can't weld, period. So somebody,
electrics, technology.
Somebody came in with an arm off a gate off an air bob. And they often used to break it, catching on floor. So they came in a Volvo car. Craig says, I'll be able to do that for you. So he welded it and it looked like bird muck when he'd done it, laid on top. No welding just laid on.
Yeah.
They put it in the boot at car. They set off back to Barkston. As they went round corner at Barkston, it rolled over it boot and bust. Didn't even get it back to the tractor.
Nothing like going your weld to penetrate.
I was never a good welder. I could never get on it. I could never get on at job. I could just never. You get it on. I could never get it set right. You'd get stick on, then it'd stick, and then it'd all stuck and get red hot, and you'd pull it off. And I just couldn't do it. I don't know if it was something to do with plug or me.
I remember you bought some big engines on trailers, didn't you? What were they, Craig? From that place and you were trying to get it going when you set on fire.
Oh, from Unidrive.
That's
some ex-army.
Yeah. And middle of the yard, our it workshop, and Craig were trying to get it going, and it wouldn't jump, would it? It wouldn't. Anyway, whatever happened, it was some diesel tank were near it.
No, it wasn't that. We're doing something with bottles, Martin. It was bottles.
Yeah.
I was cutting some lumps off it. I was scrapping
with gas bottles.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so you're all right chopping stuff up with welding.
I
sticking it together, you're not good at.
You were
not very safe
with gas axe. Anyway, he got a lot of fumes about. Next thing I looked up, and Craig's head were on fire. And it had been pouring down with rain. So I ran out and I grabbed him. And I pushed him into this muddle water, and I made a meal of it, to be honest.
That's a check, didn't you? Just to be sure.
I rolled him over, and he stood up in the mud, and all his hair were burnt off, wasn't it? But
it were blind stupidity on my part. Total blind stupidity.
You never do that, do you?
I mean, diesel tank, there had a bit of diesel at the bottom of the tank, and as I've been warming it had warmed up fumes. Obviously, fumes that come out at top of the tank, there were no lid on, just exploded. So, never again.
Don't do this at home, by the way.
Yeah, kids, if you want to. Don't try that.
I mean, I went to...
look what it does to you.
I went to Selby and she said, has your neck always been this red? I said, no. It knocked us a bit, but I got over it. Yeah.
What we're talking about at breakfast, because this is obviously about cars, and all we talked about is tractors.
Yes.
There's a lot of cars at shows where you go to. We went to a show a few weeks ago, Hubie and Sutton, and there were some really interesting cars, but there was a Ford Mexico estate, which I don't think you've ever seen.
I'd not heard of before.
And there was only 3, Craig, wasn't there, made?
Yeah. I think one of them were made for one of the gaffer's daughters, and she didn't want it.
That's right.
It ended up somewhere else, and it were in bits. And this chap bought it, keen as mustard, a knowledgeable chap, right nice chap, and he spent 15 years doing it up. And it's a yellow one, and it's a picture. You look at engine, Mexico. And it's just... everything about it's perfect.
I know a couple of Ford aficionados. I'm going to mention it to them.
Yeah, just find
what
out.
They know about
yeah.
it. I'll find out.
He does all the shows. He's got all the bump on it. And like I said over breakfast, Jim, he has a mirror on the floor. So when you're there, because it's actually polished underneath. But fair play to him. He said, I never take it to shows on trails. He drives it everywhere. Him and his wife. And it looked. It was magnificent. It put his life, his soul, a lot of love and a lot of money into it. But he'd been offered. He went to a show and somebody offered him £70,000 for it. And when you look at it, everything is polished. The engine and underneath is polished. It's just an absolute credit to him. So we do get to see a lot of old cars like that. We saw one like what Jim Rockford used to drive in Rockford.
No, it wasn't. It turned out it wasn't Jim. It wasn't.
Right.
I think it was a Pontiac, and I think
I
can't remember what Jim Rockford's was. But we do see a lot of this. But you can see why you get a lot of folks down here, because when you see them all lined up, some older kids and all, they're as keen as mustard. And they've got all the pictures when they've done them up.
It's all about that passion.
It is, yeah.
It don't matter what you're into, if you're passionate about it, then that's what it's about.
I mean,
and people respect that, and they'll come on, wax lyrical.
I mean, to be honest, if we put a thing out, you could do with that chap to bring it down here. To show
He may very well do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get to anywhere near as the amount of events I'd love to hear. But you just spend your life in there. There is that much to do.
If we come across him again, I'm going to get details. I'll get him to bring it down because, as I say, it's so rare. Like say you've never heard of it, Jim. You're into your cars. It is so rare. Mexico estate in yellow, the classic yellow.
But the old cliche again is cars are great, aren't they? But without folks that go with them, you have nothing. Which is same here.
Story. That's what you're on about.
You get the cars, but you also get the folks coming, and then they'll cart round. They'll look at everybody else's car.
There has to be a story with them, Craig, doesn't there?
Oh,
yeah, there's always got to be a story.
A quick note, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, head to carevents.com and discover car events near you. So another story I know you boys were mentioning earlier, and about that passion for putting tractors with something quick.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
You fire away. You've been dealing with this, Craig.
Yeah, guy sent me it in, and he's put a Range Rover V8 into a Fortson Dexta. He's altered the gearbox, and it's got a customised ECUing to deal with it all. And he's trying to break the vintage land speed record, which I think he'll do. But I mean, when he got started, JCB pulled him up. Because if you remember, JCB did the fastest tractor with Guy Martin, but that was a modern tractor. This is a Dexta, probably late 50s, 60s.
Well, you do have a video on your channel following it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was like, really?
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
We're going to go see this chap at weekend on Saturday and get to know something behind the story, because the guy that was doing it or was fairly well behind it, he'd had an accident, a fall, and he can't walk anymore. So this chap now is pushing forward with it. It's all about the passion, getting it to where it wants to be, and we're going to promote it and do everything we can to make it happen. I mean, we had a few silly comments on after it about you shouldn't be doing this, but you should never judge a book by its cover, because nobody knows what is done, what is put into it, how safe it is, and it's been done right.
Well, he's upgraded. Obviously, if you're doing 100 mile an hour in a tractor that we're just after war,
you're not going to have outboard brakes.
You're going to upgrade the brakes and everything.
You'd like to think so.
And like Craig said, when he did it for JCB, blocked him because they held that, and they did. But because now he's turned it to vintage, he can do it. So it will end up being a Guinness record, won't it?
We
Craig?
hope so, yeah.
We're hoping it's going to be a Guinness record. So
that'd be great.
we're going to be there filming it.
We'll get some more information this weekend. But Range Rover
We'll keep
V8.
you up to speed on that, Jim. 'Cause it's worth.
We'll put that in the socials.
It will be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. I'm interested in it.
Because it sounds like the wrath of God when it's going down the road.
Because what we used to do to get a bit
fantastic.
of extra speed out at some older tractors, you just put air cleaner pipe off, wouldn't you? And that used to give you a bit air governor. So you pull air cleaner pipe off. That would give you a little bit extra,
a bit more horsepower.
Bit more, And that's what we used to do back in them days. Tweak, pump up a bit.
Put one of your lasses tights over the air filter.
No, so that'll be a big deal. That will be if they can break the record.
That'd be great to say. Keep watching the socials.
I personally wouldn't want to go 100 mile an hour in a tractor without a cab. Or with a cab,
Well, I wouldn't want to do 100 mile an hour in a car.
Tractor.
Or a plane, even.
You've never been in a plane? Oh, yeah, you have.
Biplane. Sorry, speaking of which, I forgot all about that. You're on about your love of tractors. I saw you sat in a plane on a video, demoing a plane.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, it was
Sirius.
Sirius, yeah. What did I look like in it?
Did you? Oh, amazing.
Like a pilot.
Oh, yeah. Turn your hat backwards.
We were down there with Chris making it. It were a high tech. It had a McLaren engine in, and it's Williams, and it's the same engines. They're in cruise missiles, apparently. Yep. So we were there with Chris making, and Chris had flown that actually, and it's the technology inside. It will drop 6,000 feet per minute, which I don't think a 737 can do that. And he were flying back from somewhere, and it landed at second. It will almost land itself. There was a red thing. If you get in trouble, press that, and it lands itself. And one of the engine were on top, a single engine on top, really high tech. It was all leather inside, and Craig got sat in that. You look at the part, actually, it was a bit like Tom Cruise with his sunglasses on.
My biggest relief was they didn't give you the keys.
What a jet. Anyway.
Just on about flying, my lad has a drone. He does drone spraying,
doesn't he? Yeah.
And the technology that he has with that, he'll go spreading cover crops or whatever. We went to see him spreading a cover crop, didn't we?
Yeah.
And he plums it all into the computer, and it lands exactly where he wants it to. Then it sets it back off, and it goes back to where it had finished.
And then starts spraying.
And then starts again.
I mean, it's as big as this table, and it'll carry a small child, but it'll spread to millimetre, won't it, Craig? And Simon's very good at it, you have to say. And that, again, we were talking about technology.
Well, there's a video on your channel of it.
Yeah, future is going to be these, without any wheelings. It can go, when farmers can't get onto land, Simon can go with this, put seed, tillage, anything on without touching the crop.
Yeah.
I think skimming across.
Stand on the road next to the fence.
I think they can put magnesium on. I think I'm right in thinking they can put magnesium, but there's a lot that they can't put on yet because it's not been.
There's a lot of bureaucracy and red tape.
To what you can and can't. But I think that is the way forward.
Well, no, that video you put out with that I did watch. It's really interesting.
But going back to planes, Jim, obviously we're talking. You get a lot of old cars here. We went and did the Spitfire. You'll see that flying over your house a lot. So it came and we went and filmed that, didn't we, Craig?
Yeah.
We were chatting to pilots. They allowed me in the back seat. I didn't go up in it, but what they did, we were sat in while they started it up there. And then they taxied us out onto the...
I'll be honest with you, I've looked and I'm too heavy for it.
The
There is a weight limit on it.
Taxied us out onto the runway to fill up with me sitting back filming. When they started up all flames out of them Merlin engines. But what it was telling me, for those trips, you can fly to East Coast or you can fly to Lake District. They've got the power turned down 50% on those engines to protect it because it's an old plane. Said in war, when these young lads, 18, 19, going out, he said they were turned up to max. I mean, it rattled and banged and shook. On 50%. And he said when they ran out, he said that not a lot of experience, some of them, they're trained obviously. He said, but when you get up there, he said they fly out to battle, they have 13 seconds of bullets. That's it. When you see these films and all this shooting, you've 13 seconds and the gun belt is 9 yards, and that's why the saying comes from the whole 9 yards.
The whole 9 yards.
That is those bullets. It said you're 13 seconds back to base, and most of them got shot down on way back because there's no protection. Well, imagine, those young lads doing that. Scary. And the pilot who I was in with, he'd flown everything in the RAF. He was experienced. I think he'd even been in Red Eyes. A very experienced and older chap. He said it's difficult to fly. It's so hard. You have to be. He said, and with what they do comes a lot of responsibility because you're taking some very old people up who have memories from war. He said it's a lot of responsibility. He said, and it is a tough bird to fly, but when it comes across, it just sounds like... there's no sound like it, is there?
I've windows open. If I'm sat in the office at home, every time I hear it, the hair stands up on the back of my neck.
It does.
Phenomenal.
But can you believe they still get complaints when it flies over because it's too noisy? I mean, that is ridiculous.
Get to life, people, please. You live next door to an airport. It's going to have planes.
It takes all sorts, really, but them planes were flown when men were men. Lads grew up very, very, very quickly, and they turned into men.
One day, your boy next to a very experienced boy
were men. And I don't think we'll ever see that again.
No.
It would just. But what a plane, and it's just great to see it flying. So please, if you see it flying around, don't complain about your noise. You're not
enjoy it.
You're not that precious. Trust me.
Because they're not going to be about forever.
You're not that precious.
The reason it's still there, the reason you're here now is because of that.
And they don't get it. No. They have the perfect little lives where they do everything the same every day of their lives, and then a plane flies over and upsets that little...
Back the car on the drum and plug it in.
Car can't possibly work. Somebody rang up, just moved into the village, only been in 6 weeks probably. I mean, because we know Mike, who's in the control tower, always getting calls. Chap rang up, bought one of those new houses near there. We were working from home. Could have stopped planes flying because it were disturbing him. Now that's a level of what we're dealing with these days. You've just bought a house next to Leeds East Airport. If you look up, there's a bloody strong chance you're going to see aircraft flying over. What more do you want? It's crackers, isn't it, Craig?
The old saying goes, if you don't like bells, don't buy a house next to it. Enough said.
It's crackers,
Been brilliant. I think we're about time up.
Okay. Could go on for hours here, Jim.
I think we could just go on forever.
We're going to have to come back.
We're happy to go, and if you have a bit of lunch up and another cup of tea, we'll keep going. No problem.
It's going to cost me bloody fortune in food, that's all they're here for.
Just ring down some banana chocolates.
A few smoked salmon sandwiches.
Is that room service?
We've only just scratched surface, haven't we?
We have.
I was just wondering when we were going to start.
Have you got enough?
Have you pressed record yet? I want to get the lowdown on this tractor speed record, this vintage tractor.
I think we could do another on that.
We need to know about that. If you can let us know as and where they're going to try the record attempt as well.
Absolutely.
We can get to watch that. I'd love to see that.
That'd be a good day if you could come and do that. So it'll obviously be on an airfield or
I'm guessing probably Elvinson because it's where they do most of the record
or a narrow road at 4 in the morning somewhere. Who knows?
Leeds East Airport. Yeah,
that'd be a great
wind the neighbours
Actually,
up.
that'd be a great place, wouldn't it?
A good place to do it.
It's a long runway.
If they're looking for somewhere, Jim, that might not be as daft as it sounds. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Get loads of coverage. It's easy watching.
Well, I'll ring him.
We could.
Just, it all depends on the speed record. The places where they do the speed record, I think they have to be sanctioned by,
Oh, do they?
Right.
I don't know, the Guinness Book of Records or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
And I know Elvington is.
Right.
Because there's a company called Straightliners who do loads of
it's
speed
right,
events
okay.
there. And they set a lot of
Yeah.
records there.
I think there's a few hoops to jump through yet
Oh,
to get
I'm
to
sure,
where
I'm
it
sure
is.
there is.
There is with
As there
everything
always
you
is,
want to do,
but,
isn't
is in the
Yeah.
is at startup process, and we're going to try and assist him
We'll follow him
and promote
through.
it and following through with
Yeah,
it. So
yeah,
job
yeah.
should be a good
No,
one, really.
brilliant. No, I look forward to that. Can you just tell our intrepid listeners and viewers where people can find you for those who've been living under a rock?
Right, so Blakey Brothers, we're on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Just go on there on our socials. We're on there every day.
They do put some footage out. I don't know how you find the time, to be honest.
When we go around shows, we get a lot of farmers' wives saying they are sick of waking up to our voices. And what we always say is there's worse people to be working with than me and him. Enjoy it while you can.
And on that note, I think we'll leave it there.
Yeah, let's better leave that there, Jim.
Yeah.
We're getting into trouble.
Thanks ever so much for coming in, guys.
welcome.
It's been brilliant
Spot
having
on,
a
I
chat.
really enjoyed it.
Really enjoyed it.
Great to see you.
It was just like a bit of banter in pub,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's how it should be.
With a cup of tea instead of a
yeah,
pint.
fantastic.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Jim. We've
Thank
loved
you
it.
very much.
Great. Thanks for coming in, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.